Welcome to the Health Angle Podcast with Dr. Mike Headlee and Dr. Gordon Fimreite, where we'll be exploring different angles of health to achieve the best version of yourself. Now here's your hosts, Dr. Mike and Dr. Gordon.
Welcome everybody. I am Dr. Mike Headlee, and with me is my wife Angie Headlee and Dr. Gordon Fimreite. Welcome, Dr. Gordy.
Hey, Mike, I'm excited to see this week's episode. You and your wife, Angie, we get a tour of your garden, and I hope we can really get some great insight of what you guys do and maybe stimulate viewers that maybe are considering getting their garden going. So I'm going to pass it on to you, Mike.
Awesome. I'm going to talk for just a few minutes by myself, and then I'll let Angie give the exact tour. You know, here are my top reasons to have a garden. Number one, it's the freshest produce you can ever get. Today and last night, Angie picked some green beans and we ate them fresh. We picked fresh lettuce, zucchini, onions from our garden. And I mean, you can go to a farmer's market and they usually pick it the night before. So 1 day old produce isn't bad, but this is the freshest produce you'll ever get. Everyone who has a garden always raves about how much better it tastes. So it's just so critical to grow your own food. It's cost effective. We never calculate how much money we save or invest and whatever, but a packet of seeds can grow a lot of this stuff that we'll show you in just a minute. It contributes to prepping. We did a podcast on prepping, I remember. And so if you can grow your own food, then you don't have to worry about prices of food and you know, having stores being out. You can grow your own. It helps the bees. It adds beauty. Angie will show you some of her flowers here. You always are learning and making distinctions and adding new things. You get exercise. A lot of people de-stress when they're planting and harvesting, weeding. And it's just, you can be creative. Angie will show you some of the things that she grows up on fencing, and you can be very creative. But here's what I relearned, Dr. Gordy, that really shocked me. I forgot until I researched it this week that conventional produce that's non-organic that you get in the stores, most non-organic is sprayed with chemical cocktails, that it's sprayed with nuclear reactor waste. Okay, it's cobalt 60. It's like pasteurizing your food. And so what's really interesting is when they radiate our food, it's equivalent to having 2.5 million chest x-rays of x-ray exposure on the food. That is insane. That is insane to me.
Wow, Mike, I want to really reiterate this point to the audience. Anytime somebody buys a vegetable that they want to plant in their garden, this is the process that happens. So we're actually eating, ultimately, some bad stuff.
Absolutely. We're putting radioactive chemical cocktails, GMO foods into our body if we go out to eat and just get a salad at Green Mill and some of those places. I don't mean to throw any restaurants under the bus, but they spray virus cocktails to prevent listeria. The GMO experiment, we're being experimented on. So we need to vote with our forks, Dr. Gordy, and we can grow our own. If you live in an apartment, you live in a small house, you can get a little planter and you can grow tomatoes out of it. You can grow stuff inside. And so it's just amazing how simple it is and just how much produce that you can get. So remember, it's not just for the health of it. We said it's cost effective, contributes to prepping, helps bees, it adds beauty, you get creative, you get exercise, you de-stress, and you're never going to get fresher produce from your garden to your table. So those are just some few things I wanted to share. So with that, I would like to have Angie give us a little tour of our garden.
Awesome.
Okay, should we start with the flowers?
Yeah.
The best one, the best
Love
part.
them. They look great.
So we have zinnias, cosmos, and sunflowers. And I'd like Mike to stand by the sunflowers to see how tall they are.
Like Gordy, I can reach 9 feet tall. I can't reach these, so they're 10 foot. Those are I can't jump 10 feet anymore, but that's basketball hoop height.
Boy, the soil is good in Minnesota, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Yeah, so every year we do put manure on it, so that helps. And then we've got dill. So we've already dried some of the dill, and then we'll use a flowering part for pickles.
I got a question, Angie. When you guys are in the garden,
Hmm.
besides manure, what other prepping do you do to get the fertilizer, get the soil, properly to the point where you're going to have some good produce from it?
That's basically all I do. I mean, we will weed it obviously when we start and we put a fabric on it.
Hmm.
Um, Otherwise we just put manure on in the fall and then we just work it up in the spring.
Where do you get the manure?
We have sources here,
Okay.
farmers,
Right, you got
farmers.
some Amish in the community, you got regular farmers,
Yeah.
you're kind of in a rural area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Real
Yeah.
quick, Dr. Gordy, too, we have raised beds, so they're off the ground. And so when we start a new garden, we'll throw in some mulch and some dead trees and some brush and branches, compost material to fill that up underneath the black dirt. And
Hmm.
then when you put manure in every year, it grows 10-foot sunflowers.
Wow. Incredible. Continue. I love it.
And yeah, Angie will tell you after she shows you some more herbs what she does with them to preserve them.
And here's oregano. And then that I also dry and we use fresh. And there's some thyme way underneath here. Same thing we dry, and then basil. And we make pesto with it too, and freeze it.
Yeah.
We don't eat it fresh. We'll freeze it.
Yeah, but it's so fun to just cut up the fresh herbs and put on a salad. And I love just putting them in a stir fry with zucchini and green beans and broccoli and cauliflower.
Do you have any trouble with the wildlife? Oh, you have a
Oh,
fence all the way around your
we have
garden,
a
I see.
fence. We do have deer and rabbit that are in
Hmm.
our yard.
Right
Every day
here,
there's one
real
there
quick,
right now.
real quick. This is on
Oh,
the
nice.
outside. So,
You plan that. That's
yeah, I know. Well, they're here. You know why they like our yard? Number one, they love weeds, they love dandelions, and we don't put any sprays on our garden or our yard. So they really, really like to eat the weeds.
wow.
I'm sure lots of clover. We have a cabbage. I already picked one cabbage.
That's a good sized cabbage.
And this is, I forget the name of it, but I got it from one of my friends. And I see hummingbirds, I see bees at it. So it's not to eat, it's just for pollination.
Hmm.
And then
This
we
is a
have,
true, this is a, sorry, interrupting. This is a true definition of an organic garden.
Yeah, I mean, we've never had chemicals on it. So
That's
when we
remarkable.
first started it, we put a cardboard down, the organic soil and the mulch and the things, and then now the manure from a farmer we trust. So yeah, it's never had chemicals.
When
then,
these farms go organic, they have to go through a process, and it usually takes about 2, 3, sometimes even 4 years to actually become certified because they want to clear out anything that's inorganic or toxic, and it takes that long. So that's remarkable. Go ahead, Angie, continue.
carrots, and I usually grow, I think I got 4 different kinds of carrots in here. And then we have 3 different kinds or packets of lettuce. And this we'll eat all the way through fall. And I sometimes will replant just so we get fresh. But we'll eat it out in the garden all summer long.
Spring mix, romaine.
And then that's a freckle leaf lettuce.
It's just so tender. We had some tonight for supper with cucumbers and a hamburger and green beans. It's just so fresh and tender.
Wow, I'm impressed so far.
Then we have tomatoes. They're all heirloom tomatoes. So I will say,
That's going to be a huge produce tomatoes. You're
We
going to
have
have
a
all kinds.
truckload of
we have
tomatoes.
3 different kinds, and we have really hardy ones, so they're nice to use for sandwiches and for canning.
And
What
then
do you
what
do
else?
with your extra produce? Do you have neighbors? Do you guys trade each other with organic goods?
We just give to the neighbors and bring
Nice.
to. And then we have onions that look like they're probably be pulled soon.
Angie had the great idea, and we made distinctions, and we learned that you don't put the onions too far deep in the ground. Some people put them an inch or 2 deep, but look how big those onions are going to be. There's going to be baseball size, or bigger. And so we'll dry those out. We have some red onions and white onions, and we'll
Yellow
pull
onions.
yellow. So, our goal is to have onions
all winter.
all winter. So we just go in the basement and get our own onions. They're just so much better than store-bought.
Wow. I got a question. What percent of the foods that you harvest right there in your garden that you eat as part of your meal? In other words, what's the percent that you eat from the garden versus that you actually have to go out to buy?
50% or more.
That's
In the
pretty good.
wintertime, we freeze things and can things, but
Uh-huh.
we eat more from the store during the winter.
Okay.
Yeah, we had a hamburger today, and then the rest, the meat and
vegetables.
vegetables tonight. Hamburger and then the vegetables.
Yeah, if you get 50% of your food from your garden during the summer months, that's pretty good.
And then, we'll throw, Angie makes 50 plus pints and quarts of pickles, freezes stuff. Yeah, dilly beans and dilly.
Salsa tomatoes.
Speaking of pickles,
Cucumbers.
Nice.
Here's cilantro. We missed cilantro.
Cilantro, I love.
Yeah, I do too. So many health benefits.
And then what about?
We have peppers, but they're buried.
Okay.
No.
Got some. What do you use those for?
Peppers under there. Salsa.
Salsa. And then she invented the fence. She's not the first person to ever do that, but then I like coming in here and picking the cucumbers and things because then I don't have to bend over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Look how
we do have all climbing bushy items so that they're not bush, they're all climbing so that we don't have to bend over.
Nice.
Pick. And those are beets.
Look
I
how
love
big.
beets. So many good health benefits.
Aren't they good for you
See
too?
how big they are.
Phenomenal.
Great for. Don't you put those in your
My
smoothie?
smoothie, yep, organic beets in my smoothie.
It's great for your blood.
This is the second of radishes. We already harvested the radishes.
Yeah, radishes are good. So we had a storm here a month, 5 weeks ago. So we have a plethora of wood. So Angie just added some wood that we cut up to make another little raised garden.
Nice.
What are you going to put in there?
Don't know. Maybe herbs later on.
Nice.
Oh, microgreens. That's what I'm going to put in there. Those microgreen seeds.
It looks like you have a lot of yard that you could actually extend your garden if you needed to.
Well, I'm not a big fan of mowing my weeds, so we might just expand the garden.
Oh, then we have zucchini here and then pea pods.
I'll try one of those.
Peas.
See, the good thing about that, Dr. Gordy, is you don't have to really wash it. It could be manure on it or whatever, but it grew up out of the manure, so you can just eat the pea pods.
Well, you said there was a big rainstorm, so it probably got, depending on how clean the rainwater is, but it definitely got some rainwater on it to kind of wash some of the dirt off.
There's another zucchini back here. It's huge.
Yeah,
but Dr. Mike, they also say if you eat a little bit of dirt, like for carrots, for example, those probiotics are actually good for you. So a little dirt isn't that bad. Not bad at all.
I agree.
And we have beans, and these are, I thought they were rattlesnake. They are a little purple, but you can, and I'll take these when they're dried if I let them overripe, and they'll dry right on the stem, so I'll use them for next year.
Nice.
And just a seed saver. So,
seed saver, yes.
But yeah, look at all the beans, and I can pick easily because they're just so tall. Again, that's a 9 foot tall stalk, that it's just, I like the climbing stuff.
Impressive, you guys. How many hours a week do you spend in the garden?
3 or 4 maybe.
Not much.
Not too bad.
What I should ask is how much prepping, before the season began, how many hours a week did you spend to get the garden up and running?
It's not that bad if we do the manure in the fall, because then all you do is like do a little weeding and use your hoe.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put the fabric down.
I'm the grunt worker, Dr. Gordy. I make the rows with the hoe, and Angie knows the depth, which matters.
Oh, there's
a bee. Hey, we got some bees in here. We aren't using chemicals, so the bees are around. And guess what? I got stung yesterday eating on our deck. So they say when you get stung a few times in the summer, it really helps with arthritis with bee therapy. So.
Oh, nice.
And what do we got here?
We have parsley, flat leaf parsley. We have one raspberry, sage, some thyme, There's some more. I planted more parsley right here. And then broccoli.
Yeah, we
just had a head of broccoli.
had a huge head of broccoli yesterday, which was really good.
Nice.
And
I'm
then
really impressed with your garden. You have so many different products.
Yeah, garlic. And then these are, it's a squash, but I moved them, so hopefully we'll get something out of them.
And we have this garlic. We picked a couple already. We'll probably pick the rest this weekend. And we got huge bulbs, just huge, you know. The goal was to get like baseball size.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to the 18th annual garlic.
Oh, wow.
Pretty good bulb.
Nice.
You know, we're going to the 18th annual garlic festival in Hutchinson, Minnesota next Saturday. We've never been. So we're gonna go try food. Every bit of food has to have garlic infused or garlic ice cream. So anyways, we're gonna get our share of different types of garlic, and then we can plant some next year.
Wow.
Then we have curly parsley, and these are wandering onions. This is the first year I've tried them, so I don't know how they're gonna be. But
Wandering onions and parsley.
Parsley.
So yeah, tell them what you do with all of our herbs in the fall.
Oh, I dry them all in the dehydrator so that we'll use them throughout the year, and then at last year again for presents also. So.
And I love getting the mason jars and just taking pinches of them and putting in the salads and stir fry in the winter.
Wow. And that lasts you throughout the winter until you plant again in the spring.
Yeah. Oh, that's all flowers.
So Angie, I like when she picks some flowers and puts them on the table, and some of her fresh flowers.
Tell me what you don't have. It looks like you have pretty much everything.
We have another garden outside this. I'm pointing to that is asparagus. So we're excited about that next year. Mm-hmm. I'm curious, Dr. Gordy, what was your upbringing with your parents' garden, and what's your background with gardening?
Well, my father was a soil conservationist, so he was well in tune to kind of the soil. And my mom was just a passionate about flowers. So they had their own careers, but as a part-time job, even when I was a little toddler, we had greenhouses. And then fast forward, when you had known my parents, they had the big greenhouse and several of them in the backyard and in town in Wisconsin. So they raised mostly spring plants and sold them. They also like to have, there was a time where they used to sell raspberries and strawberries to the local grocery stores. And then they would have pickers come in and have people could pick their own berries as well. Since my dad was a soil conservation, was really interesting is how he prepped the soil for spring plants. And it was really quite impressive. He would take 1/3 topsoil, the dirt, he just put that 1/3 perlite, 1/3 peat moss. And then what he'd do is he'd mix it all together. But before the topsoil or the dirt, he would actually put them in a germinator that would basically kill all the microbes. So he would do that, and then he would mix those contents together, and then you would add just a little bit, maybe about a teaspoon of zinc sulfate into that mixture. And they had just incredible plants from that mixture. I've been living in the city, so I haven't had a chance to have my own garden, but I'd have tomato plants. And right now we have a basil plant out there. So we have very limited. And we are looking for property here since we moved to Alabama. And I would love to get a garden just like what you have. And I'm sure we will soon. So as soon as we find our home, and then we'll definitely get started. So what motivates you guys to do this? And if you could only have 5 produce, what would it be?
What motivates you to do it?
I guess just being outside and the fresh food.
Yeah, I mean, I just like the convenience of it, that you can literally, like if someone's grilling a steak or making some eggs, and then you say, oh, let's go grab some green beans and zucchini, broccoli, throw it in a pan and stir fry it or steam it or just cut it up and eat it raw and put on the lettuce, 6 or 8 or 9 herbs that you have. It's just the freshness, the flavor. I'm not a fancy food eater. I'm not necessarily a foodie, but I like just fresh, natural flavored foods.
Mm-hmm. And if you could only pick 5 things in your garden to grow, what would they be? What are your top 5 favorite? And you and Angie might differ, but I want to hear what you each have to say.
Mine would be lettuce, cucumbers, beans, like onions and garlic because we use that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I would go herbs first for me. And then I would go garlic and onions because I could eat that almost on everything. I like the fresh lettuce, but then 5 is asparagus. I just love spring fresh asparagus. You asked earlier what one thing you wish we had. I guess I wish we had cauliflower. Anything else for you? Cauliflower.
We do also have potatoes, pumpkins. What else do we have over there? Potatoes and pumpkins, onions, another garden.
I didn't see a lot of fruit. Do you have any fruit and rhubarb in some of those?
Rhubarb.
We have rhubarb at the shed over there, and then Angie just mentioned at our in-laws' cabin, her parents' cabin, we have a lot of potatoes.
Nice.
We don't need a ton of potatoes, but we'll have about 50 pounds of potatoes.
How about any berries or watermelon and?
No, just that one raspberry.
Muskmelon.
There are raspberries in the woods, so.
We used to grow watermelon, but I don't know. We haven't grown fruit very well. But yeah, the garlic and onions and squash and pumpkins and potatoes are at our other garden, a little more hands off. Here we have to pick beans every other day or they'll get too big, and cucumbers. So we wanted some hands off produce at our other garden.
Do you have a rototiller so you get in there, or do you just use a hoe?
We just use a hoe.
Use a hoe, and then we put that fabric over right away in the spring so the weeds don't get too bad. I just like low maintenance stuff.
Yeah. Do you feel like you save a lot of money by doing this as well?
I'm sure we do. Yeah, in the summer makes sense.
Because sometimes you go to these farmers markets and they're not cheap. They're not always cheap.
I mean, a bag of lettuce is like $5, or I mean,
even if you go to the
$5 for a good sized bag of lettuce. Well, we got probably 30 bags over there.
Yeah.
Now they cost $5.
Even if you get tomatoes, those are expensive.
Well, I know.
Organic tomatoes.
We'll have a few hundred there. One year we put them all on our kitchen table, and I counted 400 tomatoes.
Well, you could make salsa.
400 tomatoes out of 4 bags or 4 packets or whatever. And garlic's not cheap either. You know, in a big bag of onions. So I don't know how much you save, but it's worth it. I mean, it's hard work, and you have to weed. You can't leave for weeks on end, unless this time of year anyway.
Yeah. My parents had the rototiller and they had the whole full game. You have different produce than they had. But they had their broccoli and cauliflower at one point, rhubarb and potatoes and tomatoes and the whole works. They did a lot of berries, watermelon, muskmelon, plus the berries like strawberries and raspberries were a big thing for them as well. But yeah, pretty much all organic, which was really good. So viewers that are watching this, what advice would you give them to get started with this?
I guess depending where you live, but just start with a pot. I know we used to take a pot and put soil in it and just have lettuce. I mean, that's easy to do. Just put it on your deck.
Start small, because once you see one pot of lettuce or one tomato plant producing 30 tomatoes, you go, oh my gosh, I got to do this times 5. I got to grow lettuce all year round. Angie, I got her for Christmas this grow light and these pods that she can grow lettuce in the winter. And she starts some of the plants indoors under a grow light to get a good head start, because we're in northern Minnesota. That's like a zone 3 or 4. Your parents in Wisconsin were probably quite a bit warmer. It's probably a different zone that they could grow fruit better.
And fruit takes a lot of space. That's the other thing, I guess.
That's great advice for people. Start small and just add on to it. And then once you get into it, it sounds like you get inspired and you learn more about different techniques and different ways to do the gardening, which is pretty exciting.
Different varieties and different types of fruit or veggies. But yeah, just...
other thing I like doesn't show is I have a journal that has where everything is planted each year and the seeds I used.
Oh wow.
It has every single area here, every single box And I put little notes about when we started it. Oh, do we know show more? When we started it, what kind of carrots and which ones I like the best. We'll figure out that. Like I tried to grow lavender, didn't work. So there's things that I found don't work either, or I wasn't doing it correctly.
So if those, I mean, I would pay attention to the lettuce you grew this year because it is superb, you know, and the broccoli, you know, it just turned out really, really good. And so the cucumbers and green beans and peas, I mean, that was really good stuff. And we really like the garlic so far. So that's great to take notes to really see what works and what doesn't.
Impressive. Any last words for our viewers that you think they'd be interested in knowing about getting started?
Just start. I mean, even if it's indoors, even if it's small, and you don't have to, if you make a mistake, that's okay, isn't it? I mean, you buy a packet of seeds for $2.50 to $3 to $4. I mean, you aren't out a lot of money. Just start. Just try it, and it's worth it.
It sounds like it's not a lot of maintenance either. It's not like you're taking a rototiller and you're just using a hoe here and there, and otherwise you're watching the produce grow, and you got yourself a wonderful garden. I'm very impressed, Mike. I'm going to come visit you. I'm going to raid your garden sometime.
Hey, now
I always do that with my parents. I raid the garden. I grab tomatoes, and we love making salsa. We have the best salsa. It's that's the fun part.
Our daughter from Fargo's coming home this weekend, so she'll bring home the lettuce and some onions and cucumbers, green beans and peas, and probably some broccoli. She'll take whatever she can get her hands on.
Nice. Well, thanks for sharing, Dr. Mike. I'm sure the audience are going to love what you just shared. And I did. I certainly enjoyed it. So thank you so much. Angie, thank you for being our guest today with Mike. That's awesome.
Thank you.
That was fun. And so, you know, we usually end our podcast, Dr. Gordy, by asking, what's your number one takeaway that you can share with a coworker at work tomorrow? And then what's your number one action step that you can take today based on what me and Angie and Dr. Gordy talked about with gardening and chemicals and produce? So number one action step, number one takeaway, let us know in the comments, and we'll maybe do some more live stuff. Maybe you can be outside sometime when I interview you, and we'll do maybe some more live shows here, Dr. Gordy, while it's still nice out.
For our audience, please subscribe to our podcast. Please like our content. Till next week, we'll have another episode right here on the Health Angle Podcast. Until then, we'll see ya.
Thank you for joining us on the Health Angle Podcast. Please subscribe to our channel and catch us for our next episode.